Skate fast. Stay safe.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Stolz family. You have another Olympic year to look forward to. Last time you said skate fast and be safe. Any other advice this time?
Skate even faster this time.
Don't get sick.
Don't get sick. Beat them all.
I'm Jordan Stolz. I'm going to the 2022 Beijing Olympics.
Can you do the thing again where you introduce yourself like you did 4 years ago?
I have no idea what I said. Go? All right. I'm Jordan Stolz. I'm from Kewaskum, Wisconsin. I'm 21 years old, and I'm an Olympic speed skater.
There's a lot of things that I would like to talk to you about, but the first thing I guess I really wanted to ask, we never really had a chance to talk about China. Before you left, the one thing you cared about besides ice practice time is you cared about your food and your fuel and your nutrition.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you were eating when you were over in Beijing?
I just remember they didn't have any breakfast food, so it was more like pasta for breakfast. I had that a few times, which isn't really good because it's more like pasta every meal. That's what I was eating. Like the meat wasn't very good. You could get like a hot pot, but like the amount of protein you could actually get in wasn't like sufficient enough, and I couldn't get like on like an actual schedule of what I was trying to eat, like of just healthy stuff. Either it was, bad, stale. Obviously it was the same for everybody, but I'm sure some people had some, better food. But yeah, right.
How could you feel that, and when did you notice that that was actually starting to affect how you felt physically?
Probably, like a week in, once you've been there like long enough for that stuff to actually count. And just recovery isn't very good between, training sessions and everything. So, and it was more so like just trying to also sleep. And, it wasn't just the best conditions. It wasn't, very comfortable, just stressful. So.
It's hard to explain to people the emotional toll. My hotels, for example, I stayed in both Beijing and in the mountains. We were locked in by fences, by
right.
border. We were literally locked in. There was security everywhere. You had to show your ID everywhere. Did you start to feel like, wow, I'm kind of stuck here. I can't go anywhere, and if I get COVID, it's all over.
Oh yeah, if you get COVID, then you're separated from everybody else into your own cubby thing. So it did feel like you were like really separated from kind of everything outside because you couldn't go anywhere except the rink, just on a bus. In the cafeteria, obviously, I had to walk. I don't know how far it was. But usually, obviously, if I go to a competition, I try and stay like in my room and don't go to too many places. But here, you didn't really have the option. And it just, just wasn't a good place to be.
Does Beijing rank compared to some of the other venues, the top venues that you like? How did that place feel?
I mean, it's a good track. The building is obviously really big. They were doing a little, some weird stuff with the ice conditions, making it super cold and everything. Obviously, Niels van der Poel was talking about that. And, it just, wasn't the best for me at the time. Although I've learned from, other competitions now, they try and make the ice cold for some things. So it's something I've gotten used to.
Okay. What about the crowd situation or lack thereof? If you remember, you would skate around there and race.
Right.
And there were race officials, a handful of media, and then there were the Chinese student volunteers, the college kids.
Yeah.
What's it like? You're a young man of the pandemic. You know that whole experience. But to race where there's no crowd interaction, how was that tough? Or
Yeah, for sure. It just made it kind of dull because all of the other competitions leading up to that were a bit more exciting. So then you're at the Olympics. It should be really exciting, and obviously you're not there for that part of it. You're there to try and place well, but it was just kind of a experience that was taken out of it, so it wasn't like that enjoyable. And
You did both the 500 and the 1,000. And you finished middle of the pack for the international competition as a 17-year-old. You were the top American. You had a mask on, so it was hard to read your face. But both times you looked so disappointed / disappointed and angry.
I mean, I was hoping to do better than the place I got, right? Because I was doing like pretty well leading up to that. Like at the Olympic trials, I had some good times, and I was feeling pretty strong. And it just, I did worse than I thought I would. Like obviously there was, a small chance, that I thought maybe I'd get a medal or something, which I was hoping to finish better than 11th and 12th. I just knew it could be better than that. But just given all the circumstances with the ice and the living, experience, that all combined just kind of made everything kind of drift away a little bit from where I thought it would be. Obviously, the last few years I've gotten used to more of the traveling and other things getting in the way, and I've found ways to get around that. So it's gotten better.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider possibly bringing your own nutrition or pre-planning, or what would you do anything different this time given what you learned last time?
I mean, I was thinking about having some salmon, shipped over, some moose meat or something like that. Probably will. Just my parents will have an Airbnb, so I can probably have them cook it there, and they can make me meals. So now that we actually have the freedom to leave the village,
And those two types of protein are appealing to you because you're used to them and they're lean sources of protein, or what?
They're lean. I'm used to them, and it's probably something that's not going to be the quality as the village food. I don't know. It might be good there, but just in case, I'll have that extra option.
Okay. Do you want to do anything different now that there's freedom in Italy? Do you want to? I mean, when you were in China, you did the opening and closing ceremonies.
Right.
I don't know if you got out to see any other venues or any other sporting events.
No.
So you've been to Italy before.
Right.
But do you want to do anything this time?
Maybe in the days leading up, I could go for a short drive or something. But other than that, no, it's going to be mainly skating focused. So nothing that interferes.
When you go on location somewhere, is that a goal of yours to set a new track record? Depending on
No, not really. It's not something I think about until it actually happens.
So your name is literally etched in the record books throughout the world, and it's not a goal. It's a byproduct of your.
Well, it's nice to have them, but it's not a goal to beat the guy who already had it. I'm just focused on winning the competition, not setting the track record unless it's. Of course, now I would look at it more so. I want to beat the track record if it's somewhere where we're having, in Heerenveen, of course I want to beat those ones. But if it's some random rink, I don't really care that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's special about Heerenveen?
It's just that so many people focus on it, like the Dutch. It's kind of their place, and everybody looks at a track record there like it's a world record, which I don't think it is a world record, but they think it is. So I would like to have my name up on, their board so they can look at it every day when they're training.
Can you give me an idea why I should appreciate how fast you have to be under 34 seconds at sea level in the 500?
Yeah, it's something that everybody always wanted to do at altitude, was go under 34 seconds, and now skating's progressed where some people are going, I guess only me, under, 34 at sea level. So doing it in Milwaukee was the first time I did it, and that was on, obviously Milwaukee's super fast. So I was feeling good about that. I had the sea level, world record in the 500. And then this year I did it in Heerenveen and actually beat the Milwaukee time. And that was, really cool because Debu actually had the track record there. I think he was actually the second person under 34. And then I was able to beat his time that everybody thought was, super crazy. Then the next weekend I had an even better race in the 500 in Hamar, which is slower than Heerenveen, and it was still under 34 seconds. So that was probably one of my best 500s.
Can I ask you a technical question? Because when you think about that, it's an all-out sprint, so you have to, the timing has to be right with the starting gun. Your run has to be perfect, your stride. But then you also talk about your foot placement and then your opener.
Right.
I thought 9.6 seconds might be too, quote-unquote, slow. You're going for 9.5. That's a good 500.
Probably the opener and how you skate the second corner. If you build up really quick, if the second corner is bad, you can, lose some speed. If you slip on a second inner, that could be pretty bad. But yeah, the opener, if I open 9.6, if I'm at altitude, I can still do a 33. But if you're trying to get a 33 at sea level, it probably has to be around 9.5. Yeah.
About one thing that fascinates fans who are new to the sport is that you're barefoot. You don't wear socks.
No.
That's common or uncommon?
That's common once you've got custom boots. A lot of people, when they have just, the stock boots, they wear socks because they can hurt pretty bad and it gets pretty cold. But once you're really good and you have to have custom boots, you have to go barefoot. That's the only way to get real feeling on the ice and feel what you're doing. So yeah, if I skated with the socks now, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. I know you're so in tune with the feel of the ice, and that's a whole. But what does one pair of socks that are cotton blend, poly blend, or cotton?
Yeah.
How does that mute or dull the senses?
It's just, another layer on your skin. You're trying to feel the ice through the blade, the vibrations, right? Because some of the ice can be bumpy. The grip is different. Sometimes it's, harder to push in, the early part of the push rather than, the ending. And it's just something you want to kind of feel with your feet. And yeah, the socks, I don't like wearing socks.
About how old were you when you decided to go with just the boots?
Probably 11, 12, yeah. Because I saw someone, taking their boots off and they had no socks on. Because I was always sick of them bunching up, and then it hurts, and then it gets, itchy. So I wanted to switch to barefoot.
So if you were 11 or 12, that's 10 years now of feeling the ice, reading the ice, always being in tune with how the ice is. And not just studying it with your eyes or even feeling it with your hands, but there's that extra sense. Do you think that alone has helped you become an elite skater?
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest parts. Anybody can be, really strong and try and, skate fast, but if they don't have a good feeling for the ice, even some technical things, some people could be doing them, but they just don't have, the feeling. And I think it's something I've been, really, focused on from a young age. So it's kind of something that from every year got better and better. And I don't know, sometimes you feel comfortable on the ice, sometimes you don't. And I just remember being a junior and, getting older, I never felt, comfortable as I was searching for, something else, like a better feeling. I feel good now, so, yeah.
What do you like to do when you get to a new city?
I'll walk around for a bit, maybe go, to a couple of shops, a couple cafes or something, but that's about it, right? I'm just there to focus on skating, so there's not really much that I'm going to do. That's going to take up a lot of time. Just because you want to have, each workout leading up to the race to be the best it can be. So if I'm walking around for, 3 hours, like back when I was a junior, we would go on these team walks for like 3 hours, and then the next day is just ruined. So I try and, limit that and do hardly anything.
Okay. Is there a favorite city or a couple of cities that you like because of the food or the cafe or the ambiance? You go to a certain city, and you're like, I really want to get this food or this drink there.
Most places in Europe are pretty good, right? For like schnitzel or something, or even the cafes, right? The coffee's going to be better there than it is here. I don't know why, but it is.
Okay. I think you like to fish, right?
Yeah, I like to go fishing when I have time.
Where do you like to go?
My pond is fine. Sometimes you go to Alaska. Port Washington is good. Sturgeon Bay, but usually I'm training on the bike all the time, so there's not a whole lot of time. But if I do catch a break, I'll go fishing. Usually in our pond.
In your pond?
Yeah.
In the back, you can fish in your pond that you skated on at age 5.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Do you guys stock?
Yeah.
Okay, what's in there?
There's bass. I think some pike, perch, crappie.
Call me crazy, but the whole challenge and fun of fishing is to. Your pond isn't that big,
right?
But you just do it maybe for the mental break or to be outside, or.
Mental break, be outside. It's stocked, but the fish are small when you put them in there, so it's kind of fun to see how much they've grown. It's not like you put 10 of them in there. You're putting more, and half of them die, and then some of them get bigger, right? So you're, trying to just see how big they can get in the pond.
Port Washington? You're not fishing Lake Michigan, are you?
I have, yeah.
What
salmon?
Fish? Salmon?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. All right. What shows do you like to watch?
I don't really watch any shows.
What music do you like to listen to?
Classical rock is fine.
Name a band that I should listen to because they're amazing.
Well, you should check out AC/DC.
Okay. What apps do you like to use?
What apps?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the, stock Instagram. That's about it.
What books?
No books in general. No.
Anybody who you like to follow on social media, just because they're a good follow?
Usually just cycling stuff. like some of the cyclists, I like to see what they're up to, but nobody like super, influential like actors or anything. It's more so sports.
You really follow the Tour a lot, Tour de France.
Yeah, I follow it like an okay amount, not as much as some other people do. So, yeah.
But yeah. So you were homeschooled, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You studied online?
Yep.
Do you know what year you graduated from high school?
2.5, 3 years ago. Yeah.
Was that a good experience, meaning that you could get your education, but you'd also have time to devote? It sounds like you trained so much.
I did train a lot, and the more I look back on it, like the amount of time that I actually had more to, focus on skating and training. Like, I think I had more of an edge on some of the other people my age because it's just a lot on your plate if you're going to school and then you have to go to practice, after, and even like trying to get like bike rides in and stuff. Like, it's not like you're training just once per day. So I think I had an edge in that sense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered if you would go to college or if it was something that interested you, but I know how devoted you are also to this career of yours.
Right.
Did you even think about college?
It was something that I would decide after the Olympic year. So I wasn't going to do it before, this year.
Right.
I'm just putting everything into, Milan.
Right.
Yeah.
All those bike rides, people don't understand too. When you're on a bike ride, it's sometimes for hours, hours and hours. Yeah. And your country roads out here are beautiful. Do you ever go outside of this county to go for your long rides?
I'll go to Fond du Lac County, or I honestly don't pay attention to which counties I go into, but I for sure go out of Washington County. Usually if I'm doing like an 80-mile ride or somewhere around there, like a big loop, and don't really pay attention to the roads. Just go away and see if I can find my way back.
So you don't map it on Strava or something?
No, I don't map it on Strava. I just use my Garmin. So and then
you just wing it out there?
Yeah.
Again, are you lone wolf on this, or do you have friends or teammates?
I usually go solo. So I have a teammate I'll ride with, once a week.
Yeah.
But usually I'm, making my own routes, and usually I go a direction and make a left or a right at some point, and then trying to get back to a main road that I know, and then follow it back.
So you're listening to AC/DC the whole way?
No, I don't use headphones when I ride.
That's actually great.
Yeah, I don't want to get hit by a car. Yeah.
Right.
It sounds. I didn't realize like a lot of people use them, and then I told them I don't for like a 5-hour ride. They think that's crazy. No.
You're just in your own thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you solving all the world's problems, or what are you thinking about on a 4-hour ride?
I don't know.
I know it's demanding. On a country road, you actually do have to pay attention to the...
Not really, because there's no cars out there.
But the conditions of the roads out here can be great one minute,
and
then potholes.
If it's a route I know, it's fine. Like, I pretty much have the potholes memorized, so I just automatically move over it without even thinking. So
what are you...
I don't know what I'm thinking, how much I want to stop riding. Yeah.
Do you have all your food packed with you?
Just gels. Then maybe I'll stop at a gas station and get some, bananas or Powerade.
Jordan Stolz, what do you do for fun?
Well, I enjoy riding my bike, going fishing. That's about it.
I know he's great at corners, and I know that's partly because of his lean and how he handles the G-force.
Short track background as well.
Yes, but that was when he was little. But does that matter?
It still helps because you get the motor skills and the technical patterns when you're young, and then as you get older, you get more stronger. It carries over. So the fearlessness probably comes from short track.
Okay, because I wondered. I figured you're just fearless. You either have it or not, but do you think there's a technical part of understanding the tighter turn?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anything else when we watch him in Milan? Is there anything else that we should? I know his start is crazy fast.
Start is crazy fast.
Milan, but what can I appreciate about a 185-pound, 6'1" kid on that start and the run part?
He just gets up to speed and gets up to skating so quickly, and it's one of his strengths. And he's always had a monster start since he was a little boy. And
really?
and now he has more strength. He has a big adult body, And he's just a strong, well put together skater. He doesn't have many flaws at all.
You know, for him to do the super sprint, the 500, the 1,000, then the middle distance, then this crazy mass start.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think people aren't old enough to remember Eric Heiden or even here. How can we appreciate the diversity of that challenge and how multifaceted you have to be athletically to do all those distances?
I feel like Jordan's just a unique individual, and his development through the years has just really favored him in terms of being so strong naturally, like with the speed. Like speed, I feel like speed's God-given. And you can work until you're blue in the face, but if you don't have it, you just don't have it. You can improve at it, but it's really hard to have. Jordan's always had that naturally. And then like his conditioning and weight training and his strength, like for the middle distances, it's really no flaws there. And it's just amazing that he's being so dominant and across the board in these three distances at 21 years of age. He doesn't have all the support that the Dutch people have and his competitors have. And he's just a individual that keeps his team close to him, and he works with what he has. And I admire that. And I still think the best is yet to come. And the way it's scheduled in the Olympics, I think it's going to be in his favor as well. So I think that he can go there, and if he's healthy and he's, doesn't get too distracted, I think the best is still yet to come.